Genius for life. Coconut smoothies coming at you. Hello, hello. How's it going out there in Genius Land? I am your host, Alex Baer, the CEO and founder of Genius Juice. All the logos going on here. That is us. But we're not here to talk about Genius Juice because I talk about that enough in my personal time. This is all about the brands and the entrepreneurs and the stories and the people that we bring on this show. So I got a great guest today. He's a friend of mine. We were on Clubhouse together 2 weeks ago, and then I have not been on Clubhouse since. I just really want to clearly say that. Time suck. Clubhouse, do not be on there. I'm being controversial here. So I got a big plug to Mark Nicholas, Mark N at ManhattanBeachStudios.net. He is our guy that is putting all this together, all the production. He built this wooden wall behind me, slab by slab. This guy is amazing. He's a Renaissance man. So, yeah, Mark N, ManhattanBeachStudios.net. If you ever want to do a podcast or videos or photos or photo shoots, he's your man. All right, so our guest, it is Dean Eberhardt. He is the CEO and co-founder of Hoplark. Dean launched Hoptea at a farmer's market with his best friend Andrew Markley in 2018. Wasn't that like yesterday? The two of them had built a product unlike anything else on the market. Almost 3 years later, Hoplark is a nationwide brand, especially in Whole Foods, focused on continuing to move the needle on what should be expected from brands around product experience. Dean, how's it going, my man?
Hey, good. How you doing, Alex?
Doing really good, really good. So
Nice.
let's start with it's just like everyone. Before I talk about your product, your brand, your story, we were talking offline about this. Clubhouse, is it here to stay or is it going to fade out? What do you think?
I think it's here to stay for sure. I mean, it's just for me, I just don't have the time for it. It's really hard. I think I try and be as picky as possible to like only do a couple of things that might bring value. And even that's a little tough. But man, if I had time, I would probably be all over that thing for sure.
Yeah, definitely. It gets exhausting too when there's people from Europe that are on because they're like full of energy because it's daytime over there and it's like 8 o'clock at night here, you know? So,
For
yeah.
sure.
I remember in the Clubhouse meeting that we had, there was a dude from like, where was he from? I think he was in South Africa or something, or I forget where he was from,
Some,
UK or
yeah, I
something.
forget exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. And, but it's an awesome platform. I'm with you, man. I want my personal time at night. So right there with you. Let's talk about your product. Let's talk about your story. It's pretty amazing that launching just 3 years ago, you already have nationwide expansion in many different chains. Tell us a story about your product. Why Hoplark Hoptea? How is it different? What category are you going into? What is it disrupting? Tell us more about your product and where it really lives in stores.
Yeah, man. All the things, right? Like honestly, we just made the thing we wanted to drink, and that was, where all the magic came from. I would say I was taking a month off of drinking back almost, well, probably 4 years ago now, maybe a little more. And I used to be a lot heavier than I am now. Uh, and I like day 25 went to a brewery with my co-founder, now co-founder Andrew, and I literally grabbed his beer, gave it a smell, and was like, "Why can't I experience this right now?" And imagined replacing the malted beer with tea, and the rest was history. It took us, I mean, we're stubborn as hell. It took us almost 2 years or like 18 months in my garage in Boulder to design it and get the product to taste right. It was incredibly challenging to extract just like the flavor and aroma from the hops as opposed to the bitterness. If you think about IPAs, lots of people think about like these bitter bombs that don't taste particularly awesome in some respects. And, we try to do something different. So uh, the goal was always bring something totally unique to market. We stuck out until it was fully what we were like a flavor we were proud of with 0 calories and only 3 ingredients. And that's been a bit of the magic. So I hear the story a lot where someone will try it and they'll be like, "This is amazing," and then they turn the can around and they're like, "How the hell is that possible that it has, is as simple as it is?" And that's what we're going for. And the disruption is, I'd say a number of things, like disrupting a lot of what I think of as not really natural experiences in beverage, kind of across the board. We are not like exactly exclusively a beer replacement. Like it's although we do disrupt that occasion to a degree, a lot of our consumption happens earlier in the day because there's caffeine in a lot of our products, and so we're more of like a craft beer's best friend type product slash sobriety product as well. So there's a lot there. You asked about category. We've always been in the tea set, generally, although it does really well if it sits in with kombucha or functional beverage to get kind of specific in our industry speak. And yeah, that it's maybe just about everything there.
Cool, cool. Yeah. A lot of really good info there on just the product itself. And I think from tasting it, it definitely is not bitter to me. Kind of has the tea notes, it has the hoppy notes. But it's interesting because I think non-alcoholic simulations of beer is coming back, you know. There was like a brand, I think, remember about like 25 years ago? It started with a Z or something. They were trying to be a non-alcoholic beer.
You're gonna date me, Alex. I was like 11 or 12.
I'm the same age as you, so we're dating. I'm dating myself as well, so it's all good. I'm committing the same crime. So, but it was like I forget the name of it, but I saw recently that a Budweiser or something was non-alcoholic and it is coming back. Do you see this as a growth category where people just want to get that fix of a beer simulation yet without the alcohol? Do you think that's going to be a big thing again?
Oh, 100%. I mean, honestly, I think that if you looked at Athletic Brewing and us, we're probably two of the top fastest growing beverage brands in the market right now, not just in this specific segment of the market. So yeah, I would say that it is back. It is like growing like wildfire, and we're just trying to, you know, figure out the best position of this really unique kind of weird product we made, and that's been going pretty well so far.
Awesome. Let's talk about distribution. So we know about I stole your thunder on the nationwide launch in Whole Foods, where you're in every
It's
Whole
all
Foods
good.
basically in the country. Tell us more about where you see this product. And also, I got to mention one thing because Gavin Lindy, who is one of our sales directors, also splits his time between us and Hop Tea. He mentioned you guys do really freaking well in the Midwest, which is a very hard region to crack. Either you do really well or terrible, and there's nothing in between with the Midwest.
Right.
Tell us your distribution strategy and why are you guys resonating with the Midwest consumer? Tell us more.
Well, I'll say I'm not 100% sure that well, it's certainly not just the Midwest. It's a lot of different places. It's the coast. It's really doing fairly well across the board. But I think that I'm from the Midwest. I don't know if that has anything to do with it. But this product was designed um, to be a craft beer lovers, kind of like Spindrift or LaCroix. Like that's in a lot of respects, that's what we're going for here. Um, and we designed it to our own palates. And there's a ton of craft beer love in the Midwest. It's not, it's fairly advanced from that market, especially in like Michigan and Wisconsin. So I think there's a lot of that. I, I don't know that I can speak too much else to that specifically. The nationwide Whole Foods launch has been amazing. They've been an incredible partner. Um, we launched with them back in October of 2019, and we're coming off of an exclusive with them right when COVID hit, and so it's been really challenging. Or it was really challenging because our category hasn't been reset that much. So although we've had a lot of retail growth, it hasn't been quite as much as it probably would have been. But we're in the next, I think, 60 or 90 days, we're going to double or more than double our retail footprint. So that's really exciting for us. The big thing that happened last year is we went like 20x on e-commerce, and our e-commerce just completely exploded and went from some 12% of the business that I wasn't really paying attention to over 50%. And that's been an amazing thing to follow and watch, just kind of the customer love piece on like how sticky the product is, and what our like lifetime value in e-commerce speak is, but like how long our customers stay with us has been incredible.
Let's dig into that more because, part of the show is, not only sharing your story, super captivating how quickly you guys have grown, but also helping entrepreneurs that are tuning into this, that are on LinkedIn or YouTube. How did you 20x your e-commerce in such a short amount of time? What were some strategies you used? Was it digital marketing? Was it just organic word of mouth from a bigger distribution footprint? Tell us more about how you reached those new numbers, because I'm curious, because we were trying to grow our e-commerce as well. So what did you do there to make that work?
It's been a lot of just the grounding philosophy is providing the customer with a product experience that they love. So just simple stuff like free shipping from day one, having the price point be the right price point. But what we realized, like right after COVID hit, our e-commerce kind of blew up a little bit. I think folks weren't going to the grocery store, but they were hooked on the product. We realized that consumers were drinking it on the daily, and in fact, tons of our customers still, go to Whole Foods and load up their cart, which is great. But we wanted to provide kind of that daily connection, that daily offering. So we launched a subscription service, which for our product has worked super well. Multiple thousands of people on subscription now, and we also did a limited release program, which we thought was going to be kind of a fun side project, and it turned into this massive consumer response where every month we're creating a new flavor. And we're creating a new label, and we're just having fun with it. We do it all internally, and so I think that's been the rising tide that's lifted all ships, where we stay relevant in the mind of the consumer, and then they continue to buy all the other SKUs and products we have, but are excited about the new ones as well. What's been amazing is how resilient the retail game has been, even with the growth that we've had on e-commerce. So I think a lot of that has to do with just the fact that not everyone thinks to buy a beverage online, and that's not something we're going to change overnight. So that audience is still at retail. So our velocity is doing great there, but also we have this massive growth curve online, which is, I think we're lucky in that scenario.
Got it. Got it. One thing that I think a lot of brands struggle with, which you guys have been able to execute on, is getting repeat customers to come back, not only in the stores, right? It's better to have one person buying 1,000 times versus 1,000 people buying at once, right?
For
How
sure.
how the freaking heck are you guys getting so many subscribers? I mean, you mentioned there were incentives there. You had to do some kind of digital
Yeah.
marketing or something, because even with
Yeah, I mean,
us,
we do some, but
yeah,
for
I
me, it's been like the whole story of the product from day one has been to captivate someone on shelf. So, hop tea's fairly big and bold on the can. There's, a $30 billion craft beer market that has been educating our consumer about hops for the past 2 decades plus. And so this captivation, and then we've made this crazy commitment to this product with this bizarre, to be honest, product experience where this thing that tastes like beer but has 0 calories, like kind of what the heck is this? And it leads to a bit of a jarring moment, like, oh, what am I drinking? What's happening? And that's such a big result relative to like a lot of other things I see in the market. It's not exclusively us for sure, but and like a thing that we see, like this is just a funny anecdote, but like our number one posted picture on Instagram is a steering wheel. And that's because people are like so excited to share it with the world. They are taking the picture in their car as they're leaving the grocery store.
mm,
They can't like wait till they get home. And so it's like it's all built around that experience moment. And then we really grab their attention, and they get hooked, is kind of how we've heard the story go. So I think it's more about the product experience than it is about any sort of magic we're doing online. Although I do have a really solid marketing team that does an awesome job. It's if the customer is not that psyched about having the product every day, it's not going to be that great of a subscription thing. This is kind of
exactly.
our world.
Yeah, I think one thing that I learned from like hearing you talk about and share the story is there's really no magic bullet in making a product successful and a brand successful.
No.
It's really like it's an amalgamation, of many different things, the branding, the product, how great it tastes. is it filling a void or a need? And I think your product is filling the need of lower calorie, giving you energy without being an alcoholic drink. And, but it gives you that experience, which is so cool. So I think like you've hit the nail on the head with the branding. I also would just want to say, I love the black can. Like it's really disruptive
Thanks.
on the shelf. A very overused word, disruptive, but you look at a sea of other products that are usually very colorful or white or bright, and then you got this black star can with a bright green label, a bright band on it. It really stands out on the shelf. So kudos to your design team for making it come to life on the shelf. So we
Yeah,
want,
thanks. I appreciate that. No,
yep,
oh, go ahead. No, I was just going to say it was
sure.
like we were trying to design craft beer meets a food product. Like that was the thing that we mapped out. And so it's a little bit of food product here and craft beer everywhere else. And like, that's been going pretty well.
Awesome. It's like something where subconsciously people are thinking that. Like I didn't even think that until you said it, but I realized
Right.
subconsciously that was what was going on when I saw your product on the shelf. I'm like, it's badass, it's edgy, makes me feel like I'm drinking a beer, but without all the negative effects of drinking a beer, right? And of course, you know, if someone's taking a picture behind a steering wheel, it's got to be non-alcoholic, right? So, all right, well, let's move on to our next.
That's exactly true.
Yeah. Or else there'll be lawsuits. So let's go on to our next segment, which is called Rapid Fire Questions.
Rapid fire questions.
All right. So I'm going to ask you a bunch of questions. There's going to be a bunch of answers. I sound like Arnold Schwarzenegger from like Kindergarten Cop. Like, I'm going to ask you a bunch of questions. I want a bunch of answers. So, all right. So here we go one by one. First thing that comes to your mind, just spit it out. NSYNC or Backstreet Boys?
Oh God, neither, but probably in sync if I had to.
Yeah,
That's
neither.
that's the Justin Timberlake one, who's actually pretty great musician, right? This is how much I know about that sort of thing.
Exactly. And he was truly talented because he spun off and and went off to a great career, right? Like of really good music, in my opinion.
But for
So
the
yeah.
record, I could not name a song from
Yeah.
either.
Okay.
Go
Yeah,
ahead.
that's for the record. Everyone note that at home. First thing you do when you wake up.
Oh, unfortunately, check my phone. I wish I wasn't doing that, but that is true.
Yeah, well, we're in that kind of we're in that kind of habit. Movie you can watch an unlimited amount of times.
Pulp Fiction, 100%.
Quentin Tarantino. Song you can listen to an unlimited amount of times.
Oh my goodness. My taste has changed a lot, but I'm going to say, oh my God, you can't have stumped me. Uh, Yesterday by the Beatles.
Okay, there you go. That's a go-to. Favorite sport to watch if you watch sports.
Used to be baseball. I was a huge Cubs fan, but probably football right now.
Got it. Zoom, Microsoft Teams, or Google Meet. Which video software do you hate the least?
Oh my God. Microsoft is the worst by far. I can never understand that one. No, Zoom is pretty good.
Yeah. What is your spirit animal? I think is it your logo?
So, yeah, I mean that's easy answer. Probably something like that, or like a lynx. I would say lynx is probably the right answer.
What is your logo, by the way? What kind of bird is it?
So it's a Western meadowlark with bizarro legs, and they make this. They're in the field behind my house, and they make this incredible sound in the summer. So yeah,
Interesting.
we just
Okay, I
do it.
never knew. It's actually called a lark, the bird. Okay.
Correct, yeah.
I did not know that. Wow, learning something new every day here. Yeah, there it is. All right, so he can run pretty fast, it looks like. Window seat or aisle seat on an airplane next time you fly.
Window seat. Yeah, it's been a minute.
Yeah, Expo West
Window.
2022. That's going to be the next time. All right, peanut butter or almond butter?
My son's allergic to peanuts, but 100% peanut butter.
Right on, man. I'm right there with you. Omnivore, flexitarian, vegetarian, or vegan?
Omnivore, but it's got to be, I've gotten really dialed on the type of meat and where it comes from, and I think that's an awesome story to be a part of. But I really do appreciate cooking, and losing meat would be a challenge for me.
Got it. All right. So cold weather or hot weather?
Bolder weather.
Yep.
Come from Chicago, so it was both, but it was a mess because it was always humid. And here it's just all about zero humidity. It's just amazing. Changes everything.
Nice. Like brisk cold, right? And Boulder. Yeah, it's so nice out there. LeBron James or Michael Jordan? I think I already know this one
I
because you
mean,
said it.
come on.
From
Come on.
Chicago. Do we even need to say it right now? Okay, next
I
one.
mean, like maybe Michael Jordan's my spirit animal, actually. From
There you go. Spirit animal, favorite athlete, everything across the board. You should turn it. You should have his logo on your can. Like Air Hoptea.
It's not that far off, actually. Now that you mention
it. Ginger or turmeric?
Ginger. Love the flavor.
Favorite food or drink if you're stuck on a deserted island? You cannot say hop tea and you cannot say genius juice.
Yeah, genius juice. I mean, there's coconuts there, so like probably not the right answer anyway. But it's convenient as hell.
Exactly.
Such a good product, Alex.
Thanks, man.
I would say, well, it's probably going to be something refreshing because it's going to be hot out. I have to say I love Spindrift. I think Bill and his team do an amazing job. So I'm gonna throw that out there. I think.
Nice. I think there's some carbonation, plants on some islands out there. Carbonated, and then you get some fruit juice, put it together. You have Spindrift. There you go. All right. So that is rapid fire questions with Dean, the CEO and co-founder of Hoplark Hoptea. Any closing words, Dean, for entrepreneurs out there? Anything you'd like to add, or kind of a final message before we end our episode here?
On the entrepreneur side, I mean, like we didn't talk too much about it, but everything we learned was at the farmers market, and it's not anything that we knew or that intuitively amazingly well. It was what our customers taught us. I'll say that. The other thing I'll say is, Alex, your product rocks. I drink it all the time in the morning as like a pick me up when I miss breakfast, and appreciate you for having me, and good luck with everything, man. You're doing great.
Thank you. That means a lot, man. One bottle at a time, we're getting there, and it's not easy to make a great product, as you know. To do it the hard way, to me though, is the best way. So, yeah,
for sure, love that.
Awesome, man. Well, thank you again, Dean, for joining us on episode 52, 15 Minutes of Genius.
Yeah.
All right. Have
Cheers.
a good night.
Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. All right, man. See you in the field. All right. So again, that is episode 52. Dean, CEO and co-founder of Hoplark. Another big plug for Mark Nicholas, Mark N. at ManhattanBeachStudios.net. There's everything right down there. If you want to contact him for any awesome audio, video services, he is your man. He's done photo shoots for us. He's done a lot of really cool stuff for us, so make sure to contact him. So again, episode 52 in the books. And one last thing, stay genius, my friends.
Genius for life. Coconut smoothies coming at you.